All right, so we are going to introduce our last form of lines here. So get yourself ready for notes and we're going to get started. If you're confused about anything from the last few lessons, please make sure that you're signing on to your class Zoom and getting those questions answered. So get yourself ready for notes on writing the functions of lines. So here we have a picture of a line already graphed, and the question might be, okay, well, we want to write the function of that line. We're used to doing it the other way, but this way works just as well. Now, since we're looking at a graph, we want to be thinking about things in terms of mx plus b. Slope-intercept form, just like before. This is good for graphs. Now, if I'm looking at this graph over here, b is equal to the y-intercept. So I'm going to look at my y-axis, and then here is the intercept, because that's where the line crosses the y-axis. So what this tells me is that 5 is equal to b, right there. Now my slope, I'm just going to count between 2 points. So here I can go with, this is my rise, and here's my run. I picked those 2 points. This would work for any others. Notice how my rise is going down. So what this tells me is that my rise is equal to a negative number, in this case 2 spaces. My run is equal to positive 1. So my slope then is rise over run, which would be negative 2 over 1, which is negative 2. Now all I need to do is plug those pieces of information into my formula. So y is equal to m, which is negative 2x, plus b, which is 5. So looking at the graph, I can easily figure out what my function will be. Now, let's say we don't have a graph. You could draw it all the way out, but I don't particularly want to, and that's why this last form that we're going to learn, point-slope form, is really helpful. It's good for writing equations. Now, point-slope form uses the slope. So remember m, that's our slope. And it also just tells you a point that's already on the line. So it might not be the y-intercept. It could just be any point. So we call this x1, y1 is on the line. So, and then the equation is y minus y1 is equal to slope, parentheses, times x minus x1. So this is our formula right here using the slope and a point on the line. So let's look at how to use it. Write the function for the line passing through the point 3, negative 7, parallel to the line y equals 7 over 2x minus 5. So if you just are given here the point, you're like, okay, this is my point on the line. This is my x1, y1. And then we want to look at the other information to tell our slope. So if we're parallel lines have the same slope. So we can borrow the slope from this line and use it in our function. Now the slope here, we look at the multiplier of x. So in this case, our slope is 7 over 2. Now all we need to do is plug in our x1, our y1, and our slope into our formula right here. So our formula starts off y minus y1. So I'm going to use this. So y minus negative 7 is equal to m right here, which is 7 over 2, since it's parallel to that other line, parentheses x minus x1, which is 3. Now we do need to simplify our negatives. We have minus a negative here, which means that we have y plus 7 is equal to 7 over 2 times x minus 3. And this would be the equation of the line in point-slope form. You could use the distributive property and solve for it in a different form, but that's just fine. We don't have to do that since it's not asking for a different form. Number 3, write the equation for the line passing through the points 3, 1, and negative 2, 4 in point-slope form. So we will, again, assign, we've got our x1, y1, and now we have a second x2, y2, and this is going to be really helpful for our slope form, which is, again, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the first thing I want to do is find the slope, just like we did earlier in the week. So y2 is 4 minus y1, which is 1. Negative 2 minus 3 for our denominator. So this tells us our slope is, again, 3 over negative 5, which we would normally write as negative 3/5. Now, instead of having to solve for b like we've done previously, we can just use point slope form. So we say y minus y1, which is 1 from right here, equals our slope, negative 3/5, parentheses x minus x1, which is 3. So again, often without a graph, writing in point slope form is just going to be a lot easier. If you have questions about anything from this week, please sign on to your Zoom class or leave me something in the comments or shoot me an email. Talk to you later.